guys, watching Go Doctor 2, and today we're going to be talking about Series 5. Yeah, we talked about Series 5 Part 1, so go check that video out if you haven't already. Go and check out Series 1, 2, 3 and 4 if you haven't already. I would say Series 4 onwards, I've actually got my editing skills on point now, like I know where I'm at, whereas the other videos were very lacking that. So if you want to check them out, do so at your own risk, but I'd say Series 4 and 5, go check them videos out if you haven't already. But anyway, let's get into this video. So we've talked about Series 5 Part 1, which was basically 11th Hour to Vampires in Venice. Now we're talking about Amy's Choice to the Big Bang. So yeah, let's get into it. So first up is Amy's Choice. I've got my notes to keep me on track. So, Amy's Choice. We start off with the Doctor in the dream world. Basically, Amy's a size of a planet. She's pregnant. We've got Rory with his little ponytail, bless him, and the Doctor bored senseless. They're in Upper Ledworth. They're in a better place. It's quite perfect, which sense is a dream sort of thing, really. And it's not Amy's sort of dream, it's Rory's sort of dream. His quality life, you know. He's got a girlfriend. He's a doctor. Yeah, they're Upper Ledworth. You know, he's got Amy. She's pregnant, so it's all that really. Anyway, let's get into Amy's decision. So there's a Dream Lord in this decision. He's part of this little crystal thing that got stuck in the TARDIS, which made this whole episode really, with the dream state, the Dream Lord, with one being the TARDIS heading to a planet. Well, it's more of a cold star, a cold sun, and you've got the other heading towards these old people with these aliens with things in their mouth, you know, shooting out. They've got these eye things and they shoot out this gas thing and kills them and turns them into dust. Thanos mode. Where they just turn and disintegrate, really. Yeah. So you've got these two worlds in different scenarios, both in threat, and the Dream Lord is kind of playing between the two, making them choose which reality is real. And with that, you've got these scenarios, you know, these fun little scenarios with them bickering in one zone and the other. They're trying to work out tasks, how to survive, because if they die in one world, they die. They could die completely. They don't know which world is real, so they could die. And yeah, so we've got Rory's death, which leads us into Amy making the decision to kill herself and make the Doctor kill himself by crashing into the car, bringing him into a decision, landing in the TARDIS dream, which is meant to be real, which we'll come to in a bit. But before we get that, we get the Dream Lord that is very the 11th Doctor, basically. He's very looking like the 11th Doctor with a tweed tie. He's having jokes around like raising the stakes when they're in a butcher shop and the 11th Doctor's almost going to get killed by these old people. Attack of the old people, constantly killing people. And while they're still killing people, why Amy and Rory and the 11th Doctor are in the TARDIS when they're in that dream state. So you're constantly flipping between two different worlds, and it's quite nice to see the dynamic. Two worlds, talked about that Dream Lord and the old people, Roy's death and Amy's decision. There's not a lot to go on. There's not much in this episode other than their constant decision, battling between which world is reality. Of course, Rory dies in the happy world, leading us into the TARDIS world, and we have to make the Dream Lord gives them another decision, starts threatening them and stuff, keeping Amy to one side. And then we learn that the Dream Lord is actually the Doctor, the darker side of the Doctor, which is quite nice to see what his thoughts are in his process. We don't, yeah. And then we also see Amy getting closer to Rory. You know, this death that happens is the first death for Rory, but obviously it happens quite a lot of Rory constantly dying throughout Doctor Who. But this is the first time I think it happens, and we see how much it hits Amy, and she's learnt how much she loves Rory. Yeah, but anyway, they're not safe yet. The Dream Lord gets them away. It's all happy, luckily. They're in the TARDIS. The TARDIS is a dream as well. Now the Doctor blows up the TARDIS, and then we land in the safe zone. He gets that little speck of dust that landed in the TARDIS, which is the Dream Lord, and use the darker side of the Doctor. Yeah, it's quite a nice, unique, different story, and yeah, fun. I would say I would give this out of 10 an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Now we're talking about Hungry Earth and Cold Blood. Obviously this is a Chris Chibnall episode, and it's the Silurians and the 11th Doctor. It's a two-parter. So yeah, let's get into it. So we've got Rory and Amy waving to past Amy and Rory. So history can be changed, and we see that. We always hear about talking about our history can change and stuff like that, but we actually see that because obviously something happens to Rory at the end of this episode, making only Amy wave to the past Amy and Rory, you know? So yeah, that's the dynamic. So we've got this, so basically the humans are drilling down to Earth just because they want to see how far they can drill down, and the 11th Doctor comes to investigate, and the dad of this family's gone missing. The Silurians took him under, and it's because the drill is drilling down, and the Silurians are under a hive of Earth. They're inside the craw. Can't say the word. They're underground, and the drill's woke them up, basically. That's basically it. And the Silurians think it's a sign of attack, which really wakes them up. Their tribes, some of them get woken up anyway, and start using this as a sign of attack, and they think humans are apes, and they're primitive and weak, and they're filth, they're vermin, they must be disintegrated and killed off so the Silurians can take over, basically. Yeah, and they got tricked into hibernating, and we also see a little reference with the Third Doctor era. You know, there was a little glimpse of, oh, there was another tribe of Silurians, and then the Silurians ask what happened to them, and the humans attacked them, which doesn't look good and doesn't help in their defense. Yeah, and then we've got the humans. So the humans are these, basically, you've got the granddad, you've got the kid, you've got the mum, and you've got Rory, the Doctor, Amy, and you've got this woman that, I don't know her name that well, to be fair, but she basically owns the drill. That's her. She's in charge, basically. And you've got the dad that was taken under at the beginning, and Amy gets taken under as well. She's trying to save the granddad. The granddad's about to fall under. She falls in herself. Amy falls into this tube thing and goes underground, and the Silurians take her under and start experimenting. One of them wants to learn about the humans, and they start experimenting on the dad and Amy. Amy doesn't have any of it. She's feisty. She just does something to him, something he needs to go and investigate, but she takes something out of the Silurian's pocket so they can escape. And they start investigating and seeing there's massive, there's a load of them. There's an army of Silurians in hibernation, which is dangerous. And we've also got the kid, the boy that gets taken later on in the episode, and he's in cessation. I can't say the word. The boy's in hibernation as well, we're just going to say. And yeah, they're going to obviously experiment with him at some point, you know. Meanwhile, the doctor and the woman that is in head of the company of the drill, is going to travel with the 11th Doctor down to Earth to find out what the Silurians are all about and why they're taking our people and stuff like that. While also, before that, we had this moment where they are in a dome. Basically, this whole village is in a dome. It's pitch black and darkness, even though it's daytime for everyone else. In the dome, it's pitch black and darkness, and the Silurians are coming out trying to get them, really. And the 11th Doctor managed to get one of the Silurian sisters, lock them up into a van, capture her, and she's in stasis. Before she does that, that Silurian tries to attack the mom of the family, and then it also attacks the granddad. The granddad tries to get in the way, and he gets poisoned, and he's slowly dying throughout the whole episode, which leads him into begging the Silurian when it's captured, can it survive and stuff like that. And she's like, Silurians kind of predict what's going to happen because she thinks we're so obvious, and in a way, it kind of comes true, whatever she's predicted, which is not good looking for us. And she knows who will kill her. She knows she will die by these apes, and it will come a war against the Silurians and the humans for the planet. And it's not looking good, you know. Meanwhile, the Doctor is trying to get Amy, and he meets up with Amy. So he meets up with the dad and Amy and the woman who owns the drill and the 11th Doctor are all captured, and then they start negotiating between the High Priest Silurian or whatever you have here, is just before they were going to get executed by this evil Silurian, Madame Vastra. Before she was good, she was evil, and Vastra was about to kill them and execute them all, and then we have the High Priest or whatever being woken up by the scientist who was tweaking on the humans beforehand, and that was quite a nice dynamic. They're all like us, you know. They have morals. They're all different things. They're not all bad, and they're not all just following orders, you know. So the High Priest commands them to stop, not execute. Then they have a little debate. Humans and Silurians, can they live together in peace, which the 11th Doctor loves, and this is a point where history can change for the better. Medicine and stuff like that can be advanced for both civilizations. But then, sadly, while that's going down below, up top, the mom kills the Silurian and that they had captured, and they have to come down below into the drill. Roy was in charge, but sadly it didn't go to plan. The mom, the granddad who's dying of poison, and Rory go down under carrying this dead Silurian, drop it down on the floor, and war's about to commence again. And they're all running. They have to get an escape because the Silurians are going to chase them now because humans are looking bad here. And then, we leave with the scientist leaving with the granddad saying, I'll protect you and stuff like that, but he's got to stay down there if he's got any chance of survival. And the granddad's in love with the person who owns the drill, that woman, the scientist, so she stays with him. And then we have the rest of them escaping up top into the TARDIS and flying off because they've got to wake up again in another 1,000 years and try and see if humans and Silurians can live together. But in the meanwhile, the Silurians that are still awake are trying to chase them off. And Madame Vastra is about to kill the Doctor, and Rory dives in. And Rory dies. He gets killed off. And then, then the crack appears, and the crack has appeared again. It touches Rory, and he's never existed, and he's died. But now he's never existed as well, so Amy's forgetting him. The Doctor gets Amy into the TARDIS, has to force it to get into the TARDIS. Rory's disintegrated in dust now. Thanos again. So now, but also he grabs something out the crack, and he gets this piece of TARDIS, which we know the TARDIS blows up. And then we have this wedding ring and trying to persuade Amy to remember Rory, and sadly she doesn't, and it's quite sad. 7 out of 10 for the first one, 7 out of 10 for the second one, and overall 7 out of 10. Yeah. Now we're on to Vincent and the Doctor. So there's not much going on in this story. I can see why people love it to pieces, you know, showing a historic character, what they're represented in the future. That was quite nice at the end. But it's an average episode, I think. I'm not particularly fussed as much. Like, I think it's highly rated and it does deserve, but it doesn't deserve as much credit as it's getting. I think, personally, comments are going to kill me for that. Oh dear. But yeah, I really enjoy other episodes to Series 5 than this, to be fair. But yeah, Vincent was a good character. I think they did him well. I think they've done they do good with historic characters generally sometimes. Apart from in Series 11, they made him a bit comedic, this historic character from that series. But yeah, they normally do historic characters well and justice, and they have facts to give out like with Vincent actually going to commit suicide. He's been treated so bad, and we get to see a little bit of that in the episode, which I like. We see this woman die, sadly, and Vincent turns up, and they suddenly blame Vincent. He didn't do anything. He just stood there, and he's like, oh, you cursed us. You did this. And then he's poor, bless him, so he's trying to earn a living by painting his art, and he's fully invested in art and painting and stuff like that. But no one enjoys his paintings until after he's sadly passed away. And we learn a bit more about that. Like, I learned that from my art as well. I got taught that a bit about Vincent. Not that much interested until I saw him in a Doctor Who episode. So Doctor Who helps with historic characters. Obviously the alien gets him bored and it's all, then you can't take it too seriously. But you do learn stuff, and that's what Doctor Who does brilliantly. Apart from this alien is a chicken, basically, that only Vincent can see. It's invisible. It's a predator that kills and stuff like that. We have a nice scene with the Doctor holding this machine to try and view, which was quite interesting, and running around place. Before that, we get a little cameo of the first and second Doctor, being when he scans himself before he scans the alien. We get to see Vincent draw the monster, fight the monster and attack the monster, and it's killing people. And they've all got to be careful with where the Vincent and the 11th Doctor and Amy have. And Amy has so much enthusiasm and so much love for Vincent. She has a connection with him. And they get together so well. The ultimate ginge, you know. So yeah, that's brilliant and interesting, such a thing to see. The 11th Doctor has nice dynamics between them. They have respect. And obviously he's making a cup of tea. He puts his cup of tea on the painting, and the Doctor's like, no, and then it's too late. He's stained it, it's messed up. He's like, you should really keep care of this, it's going to be valuable. And it's like, who's it valuable to? No one loves my paintings. In fact, I'm not that first. Sorry, this place is a mess. It's like, it's not. And then in the end, when he's got to paint the church, which led the Doctor from the future to come to Vincent with that monster in the church. When they're viewing Vincent's paintings and showing Amy the place, they have to go back in time to to see Vincent and then find out where this monster is and stuff. And when they deal with the monster before that, Vincent has a fit. He's completely like, no, who are you? Get away. You're just going to walk away from me again. And he's having some tantrum, which is scary for the 11th Doctor to have to deal with. You know, he can normally charm them into doing what he wants, but he can't with Vincent. He's a very delicate mind, which is quite interesting to see the story do. Yeah, there's not a lot to go in this episode. You know, we have a hint of Vincent seeing Amy's upset from losing Rory, even though she can't remember him. We have the Doctor and Vincent, that dynamic, and Amy and Vincent's dynamic as a whole is them two. They were the ultimate ginge, you know. And yeah, when they're dealing with it in the church, the monster's coming after them. We learn it can't hear. It's trying to escape. It wants to get back to its own kind. And then the Doctor's going to take it home. But then sadly, when it's attacking, it gets killed. And it sadly dies. And it was scared. That's all. It was just scared. And then we take Vincent. We have these flowers as well. We learn that he doesn't like sunflowers, even though he's quite famous and popular, that he does like sunflowers and paints them and stuff. Anyway, we go and take Vincent to the future, and he's quite shocked of people playing music and stuff like that, but the Doctor's like, don't bother with that. We want to show you something. So we go to the art museum, and we see his paintings, and then he asks this guy from the top of the episode at the start about Vincent, and Vincent breaks down. He just hugs him and says thank you and stuff like that. And that guy at the start of the episode, and the guy that was telling Vincent how amazing he was, fun fact, almost become the Doctor as well. Before Matt Smith, he could have been the Doctor. Anyway, we take Vincent back to his time. He's going to do everything. Of course, Amy gets excited and wants to go back to the museum and see if he's painted more stuff and they've made an effect in his life. And he hasn't. He still died. He still committed suicide. Still chopped off his ear. He still was in magic pain. But they did do some little things. And the 11th Doctor makes a lovely speech of pile of good things and bad things. You know, I can't pronounce it as well as the 11th Doctor did. But yeah, that speech was quite nice. And then we go off with Amy and Rory yet again for more adventures to come. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Solid, average story, and it was an average story. I don't think it's the best story, but I think they did it well with what they had. Now onto the Doctor. We're on to the Lodger. Now with Craig and the 11th Doctor. That lovely dynamic. I love Craig. He's so good. You gotta love the person who plays Craig. I've forgotten his name. I'm going to get slated in the comments for saying that, but I have forgotten his name. He played Gavin and Stacey. I loved him in Gavin and Stacey. But yeah, he played Craig in this episode, and he was amazing. I loved the 11th Doctor and his dynamic. Obviously, Craig loves Sophie, and they're friends, and they're scared to do anything more than that, and they're just staying together. They have opportunities to move to places and do better things, but instead they don't, because they love each other and they don't want to leave each other even if they're scared. Then we have, so basically the whole episode, the TARDIS is messing about. He can't travel right because there's something in the flat, and Amy's trapped in the TARDIS, and he's got to write a letter for things to get into place in the future at the end of the episode, but also giving the 11th Doctor hints and messages on his earpiece. And we get to see 11th Doctor acting normal. The 11th Doctor trying to act normal is quite funny. And it's just a comedic, fun episode. It's not a serious episode. It's a fun episode. And that's what I love about Craig and the 11th Doctor. They just are comedic and fun. And that's so brilliant to see. The 11th Doctor and Craig playing football. I mean, it's so fun to see. Yeah, again, just everything's fun. We have Craig and Sophie, though, that love story, that progress, and obviously it progressed into Series 6. We actually get to see Craig yet again, one more time, and we get to see his life after he met the Doctor, and the Doctor helped their relationship continue. Yeah, there's not much to say. You know, the Doctor playing football was quite nice to see. The 11th Doctor trying to be human. Craig and the 11th Doctor dynamic. Obviously, we had an issue with Craig hating the 11th Doctor after a while, because the 11th Doctor was better at him for everything. He was better at his job, he was getting along with Sophie and telling Sophie to go out and do stuff. He was replacing him in football and everything, you know, and it was winding Craig up until the Doctor had to smack him over the head, give him a whole history of what the 11th Doctor is. He's not John Smith, he's the 11th Doctor, and 11th Doctor and Craig know each other off by heart now, and they've been in each other's head. And then they go upstairs to investigate this person, this machine, this TARDIS. Someone's built their own TARDIS, luring people in. Could you help me, please? Please help me. You know, that as a kid, as an old man, luring people in from the streets, going up the stairs, and never coming back. And the machine is using pilots, and it's never going to find the right pilot. Almost takes the 11th Doctor when Craig and the Doctor go up to try and find Lucy and save her, because she's about to get turned into whatever happens to them when they die. And she was going to die. Craig and the Doctor save the day, but now Craig has to save the Doctor, because the Doctor is almost touching the machine, and when he has to try and stop himself from touching the machine, and Craig touches the machine to release the Doctor, and then it's going to kill Craig. So now we need to persuade Craig. What does he love? Why is he here? Why the machine didn't want him because he wants to stay where everyone else wants to go out and do something. Why do you want to stay? And then he reveals because he loves Sophie and wants to stay because of Sophie. And we have that dynamic. The machine's about to blow up and fly off into the air, so they need to run out. And there was never an upstairs. There was never an upper room leading into the Chameleon Circuit, the thing that there was never an upstairs, so the machine just flew off with no one realising there was an upstairs and stuff like that. So yeah, solid fun story, tight and well done. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it out of 10, just checking my notes to remember what I did give it. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I did enjoy it. 9 out of 10. Oh, you know what, I'm going to stick with that. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun story. Now we're on to the Pandora and the Big Bang. So let's get into it. This is going to be hectic and crazy, and certainly a Moffat finale. Oh, Jesus. Right, let's get into it. I'm going to definitely need my notes because there's a lot going on for the finale. So yeah, first up we have River and her breaking out of jail and is with the Romans. And the Doctor's not answering his phone, so River makes the oldest language in the universe a message, "Hello, sweetie," onto this wall to get the Doctor's attention with coordinates underneath for the Doctor to fly to try and find out what River wants, really. And she's with the Romans as Cleopatra, pretending to be her, and of course she died already, so that when the Romans come back, she's in trouble. River's in trouble. Then they go to the Pandorica, and it's suddenly opening, the mysterious Pandorica with thousands of deadlocks, all these certain deadlocks and locks and God knows what else to block it, so nothing can escape from it. And it's opening. Something's breaking through that. Nothing's breaking through that. It's just opening for the Doctor to get trapped in at the end. All these monsters start flying into play. We have Silurians, Sontarans, Daleks, and Slovene. Everything. Every monster gets a mention, if not appears on the screen. Sarah Jane alien appear. Torchwood with the Weevils. They all come together and they're all fighting to get the Doctor locked up into the machine because they think that's what's causing the cracks in time. Leading up to the finale, all the cracks, it's finally getting revealed what happened, why is there all these cracks, and obviously the reveal is the TARDIS gets blown up and River's in the TARDIS, which causes the TARDIS to blow up, but she's not blowing up the TARDIS, something else is, which we later learn on the final 11th Doctor story, way back in the time of the Doctor, 11th Doctor's final story. It was actually the silence that blew up the TARDIS. The mainframe, I don't know, some religion blew up the TARDIS in the last story of his to keep his silence, try and get him caught, but it doesn't work. And then yeah, so next up is the Doctor getting locked up in the TARDIS into the Pandorica. TARDIS blows up with River, and Rory returns as a Roman, saves Amy's life, but later when all the Romans are actually not Romans, it's all a trap, it's all Amy's coincidence, you know. My favourite story was the Romans. My favourite book was the Pandorica. Coincidence that aliens took info from Amy's childhood to bring into play for a trap for the Doctor. And Rory, she has a picture in a book of Rory. Obviously he got took out of time, but something stayed, and that was a picture. And Rory returns as a Roman. He could remember, but Amy couldn't, and he had to persuade Amy that he was Rory, and he starts turning into an Auton. All of the Romans are Autons, and Rory kills Amy. She died. And then we lead into the cliffhanger of Amy dead, Rory's an Auton, River's blown up, and the 11th Doctor's trapped in the Pandorica, and all the monsters are there. How is the Doctor gonna get out of this? 8 out of 10, the first part. Now let's get into the second part. Next up is, of course, the Big Bang. Oh god, I don't like this episode. It's so timey-wimey. Like, I understand it. It took me a good while to understand it. About 3 times to understand it. Moffat, Jesus, this is a Moffat episode and a half. So basically time is messed up. When is it not at a finale? Series 6, time gets messed up as well. Anyway, so the time gets messed up, and what else happens really? Yeah, so the Doctor goes to Rory from the future to the past on this vortex manipulator, which River has stolen probably off Jack Harkness, I would like to think, like little connections, but then again his hand gets chopped off, and I can't imagine, I'd grow it back, but like I wouldn't want Captain Jack without his vortex manipulator, so hopefully it's someone else actually. Jack can return with his vortex manipulator. What was I going to say? Oh yes, so the Doctor warns Rory to open the Pandorica using his Sonic. Now, he doesn't have his Sonic because he just gave it to Rory 2,000 years in the past. So he's got to teleport back again and say, when you've done, put Amy in the Pandorica, it will lock her up and safe and she can't die. It literally forces her to survive. Then put the Sonic inside her pocket. So then the Doctor can get go to the future and get the Sonic from her pocket. You staying with me? You getting this? Alright. Good. I didn't. No, I did, but yeah. Yeah, what else? Yeah, so Rory gets the Doctor from the Pandorica that was locked up out and puts Amy into place. She's dying, but now she's going to be back to life because the Pandorica's Jesus. What else? Yeah, the Doctor is like, how do you do that? I've still got my Sonic. Realises it's the future 11th Doctor to do that. And then we get the Doctor using the Vortex Manipulator, teleports away. Why can he teleport away actually in the Pandorica? Suppose that would be too easy. Compliment. Maybe the Pandorica's too... Yeah, he's got a lot of deadlocks. Maybe he can't get out. Use the Vortex Manipulator to teleport while he's in Pandorica. I don't know. Just thought of that now. Oh well, it's Moffat. What else? Yeah, so then the Roy decides, I'm not going to travel with you. I'm going to wait and protect the Pandorica so Amy's safe in there for 2,000 years. And then we go to the future now. And hey kids, this is where it gets complicated. We see the future Amy and the past Amy together. And we have Amy with no stars. Stars never existed for some reason. I don't know. Why is there no stars? Does that mean there's no stars for future onwards? No? Okay, whatever. So Amy has a what is it called? She's been diagnosed as mad because of a madman in the box at the start of the series. Now she's being diagnosed as mad because of not seeing stars. She's seeing stars. She's gonna join a cult full of stars or whatever. Anyway, she gets a message to go to the museum. So she forces her aunt to take her to the museum and starts running around the place, ditching her aunt and leaving little Amelia Pond with Amy Pond from the future. The Pandorica opens. The Pandorica's light touches the Dalek, wakes the Dalek up. That was in the museum, starts killing people. Well, don't kill anyone. It just starts flying around, chasing them about like a Scooby-Doo monster. Daleks weren't used best in this. So it starts chasing them around. It's not that good. It's not powered up because it's all frozen and waking up and bollocks. What else? Yeah, so then we see the future Doctor get killed by a Dalek falling down the stairs, warning the other Doctor that something, we don't know. Then we have to go upstairs, leave the dead Doctor on the stairs, then we go off and we meet River. River, he uses the Vortex Manipulator to teleport because the sun is not a sun. If there's no stars, why is there still a sun? Why is there still a sun? So we... River's constantly in the loop. The TARDIS is trying to keep her alive. Time's all messed up. We're on the end of the cliff and little Amelia Pond suddenly disappears. So now with only River, Rory and Amy and the 11th Doctor. Coincidence they haven't disappeared. And a Dalek chasing them around in the end of the museum. Everything else is just gone. We also have that point, I'm trying to remember. And the Dalek's just trying to kill them, really. He wears a fez, River blows up the fez. Yeah, then the Dalek exterminates the Doctor, and River gets angry and kills the Dalek. The Dalek's gone now. And then they all go downstairs to see the dead Doctor. When the Doctor's dying, he teleports to what we've seen before. Then we see the Doctor's missing, and he's actually in the Pandorica again. And then he's using the Pandorica to fly up, and he's saying goodbyes to River, Amy, and Rory. The Doctor lies, he's not dead. The Dalek's power shot must have been not enough to kill him because it was still waking up, I guess. And then the Doctor's flying off into the Pandorica. He's gone. He yeet. And then the Pandorica blows up in the heart of this explosion, making the Doctor repeat throughout the series, seeing all the cracks leading up to the finale, wrapping up in a little confusing bow. It's unique. Yeah, the 11th. Moffat did a good finale, I think. I don't know. Then Amy forgets the Doctor because he ended up in the crack. But then Amy has her family back because the crack is no more. And yeah, the 11th Doctor is being remembered. He tells Amy a story as he's repeating for future Amy when she gets married to remember him, bringing the Doctor back, bringing River into play to make her remember and stuff like that. So Amy remembers the Doctor again at a wedding, then we have that scenario, then the 11th Doctor starts dancing with kids and stuff. I'm so confused at this point. Are you still carrying on? I'm so sorry if you're lost. I'm lost. Let's just wrap this up. 8 out of 10 for the second one. I am really being generous with giving it an 8 out of 10. I mean, maybe, yeah, 8 out of 10. We'll just stick with it. Why not? I gave it an 8 out of 10 when I was watching it. And I gave it an 8 out of 10 overall for the two-parter because Pandorko was there. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and yeah, I'll be doing Series 6. Series 6 next week. So stick around for part 1 of Series 6. Stick around for part 2 of Series 6 next week. So part 1 and 2. I'll be talking about every episode and ranking them and trying to give my best opinion on this. Bear in mind, this is probably the weakest series we've had so far. I have to say I enjoyed it more than I thought I would when rewatching it. Obviously, I rewatched these before reviewing it. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, see you for Series 6 if you will continue. Give us a like if you haven't already, because it always helps. Click that little bell for more videos in the future, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time watching Go Doctor Who. Check out previous videos as well. Bye! Guys, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon.